How is it that you effectively communicate and manage a client when a campaign is going over budget or they're just simply asking for too much? Hi guys, my name's Deepak Shukla, founder at the Pearl Lemon Group. We are a business growth and development agency based in the UK, USA, as well as serving clients worldwide. And here today in day number 28, we're here to talk about how to manage those clients where the campaign is just simply going over budget. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link in the description below to get access to the 7 additional strategies that we're not going to be sharing in this training. And if you do enjoy these videos, please do comment, like, and subscribe to get the weekly updates that do go out. So look, fundamentally, this is a challenging thing. If you've got a client where you, one, find yourself doing too much. So let's just write these out again. So yeah, when you've got clients where you're where you've got clients where you're doing doing too much, and knowing when you're doing too much is something that really is probably the first challenge, because you need to understand that to then recognize whether the campaign is going over budget. So a good way to budget whether a campaign is going over is to understand what is average time allocation per client. So the ways to identify that, and an example might be, we've got some clients where we offer some services that relate to Etsy optimization. So the question that you might have is, well, how do I know whether I'm doing too much for a client, and what qualifies as going above and beyond, and what is simply too much? So there's several factors here that become important. So one, have you done it before? Two, so let's just map these out. One, have you done it before? Two, what's been promised? Three, how long did it take last time? And four, not in this order, has someone else done it before? Five, how much is the client spending? So these are some of the things that become important when trying to understand whether you're doing too much. So you should be asking these questions. And if you're not asking these questions, then you definitely need to start. Is it compromising other projects? So look, and I won't delve too much more deeply into this, but to understand whether a campaign is going over budget, and budget can be a couple of things. It could be time versus value. It could be client spend. It could be that client's priority to the business. It could be whether there's an allocation if it's something new that you've done before. So there's, the company sees it as an investment. There's a lot of these factors. And then you need to combine it with these other elements that I've outlined here, these 6 questions to ask. So assuming that you do identify that you're going over budget, the next thing that you need to do is, there's a couple of things that you need to do. So number one, you need to communicate this to, ultimately, whoever it is that potentially that manages, communicate this to your team. So you need to communicate that you think you might be doing too much, you think it might be going over budget, and you need to communicate this to your team. So whether that's your line manager, your account manager, the managing director, whoever it may be, your head of department, communicating this to your team is something that's important. You probably, if you're not sure whether you're actually doing too much, you need to just, identify the hours spent per client and how long or what's produced in those hours, because then you can ask the question internally from someone more experienced, saying, look, I'm spending this long doing it. What do you think about that? So communicating that to your team in general is important. The next thing is that you need to prepare probably a couple of types of emails or responses based upon going over budget. And going over budget is ultimately the end consequence of it is, hey, Mr. or Miss Client. Oh, sorry. Hey, Mr. or Miss Client. We can either, and it depends upon how you want to do it. Bear with me. Oh, we're gonna continue down here. So you need to say, we need more time. We can't, and this is what probably makes it simpler. We can't do as much. More money. We need more time and more money. We have to stop working. So these are the possible outcomes. Hey, Mr. Client, we need 5 more days. Hey, Mr. Client, we're not going to be able to finish all of these listings. Hey, Mr. Client, we need to look at rearranging or organizing the budget. Can you speak to, and that would be the sales director that you work with, or it would be potentially yourself. Hey, Mr. Client, we need more time and more money to just even get this done. Hey, client, we're going to have to stop working at the moment because we've gone way over budget. And you have to, in all of these instances, of course, provide a reason and a rationale behind why these elements are there. And it's just important to have, again, with this type of strategy, a process. This is something that you can do on email or on a call. It's good to just think about and rehearse and role play some of these scenarios, but just have again, the importance of an if this then that formula when it comes to identifying how you're going to approach a client if they're going over budget. And if a client is unhappy, which we'll go on to talk about, then you need to also think about, well, what are my responses depending upon what the client says? And again, some of this relates to, you know, what's been promised, or what is the importance of this project to the company, and that might be something that you can raise up to someone that is leading or managing you. But fundamentally, communicating these elements you can do over email. It's best to do it probably on a call. A lot of it depends upon how you typically communicate with the client, and then that can determine what's best. You can organize a call to say, you know what, it's taking a lot longer than we anticipated. I'm so sorry about that. I know that this is what we agreed, but are you able to extend the budget? Because as it stands, we just couldn't afford to continue. So let me know if that's possible, as an example. So this is something that you could role play or rehearse, and you can provide the data points on an email as to why that is. But having that earnest and sincere conversation with a client, it's going to be important. Sincerity and honesty is going to be important. And how to deal with a client if they're pissed off about that, depending upon the rationale, is again something that we need to, you need to have a process in place for, saying, look, I'm really sorry that you feel that way. I'm so sorry. This is the best we can do. I really apologize. This is where we're at. Let me know what you want to do. These kinds of responses can work when there is little wiggle room or inflexibility. So there you have it, guys. These are the, let me think, seven strategies involved in communicating to a client if the campaign is over budget. Although it's not probably quite 7, let's call it 3. And please do, again, comment, like, and subscribe if you are enjoying these videos. Thank you so much.